is, presenting Jesus and these people, from where they were. Like Daisy said, it's so beautiful because it's so diverse. And the more you learn about the Bible and the different places in it and what these mean, like Cushite and Ethiopia, all those things, like it's just so beautiful to kind of take it and then twist it so it only fits one narrative.
I'll tell you the truth, I really didn't think of people having their own depiction or version of Jesus Christ until I watched this show. It's a wild show, but called American Gods. And in that show, I think it was the end of the season, one of the last episodes, where they were in some area where all the gods were, and they showed a bunch of Jesuses walking around: Black Jesus, Korean Jesus, Chinese Jesus, Mexican Jesus. And I was like, that's when I realized, I was like, oh my God, so everybody might have their own version of what Jesus looked like. And it wasn't
everybody does that. There's Indian depictions. I've seen paintings, and there's a pastor that we like named Mike Winger that kind of did a whole teaching on this. But it's still missing. Like when people teach that, not saying that's what you're saying. You're just saying that they had images that look like them.
Mm-hmm.
So, but when people teach that, they're trying to say, well, everybody did this. But the difference is that when in the West, when it's depicted this way, it was a form of control. It was a form of trying to pit themselves superior with Christ. So making them look like him or making him look like them. It wasn't about, it wasn't about just like depicting a diverse Christ, which it still doesn't really fit. But you know what I mean? Like they were Indian people, so they artists drew an Indian Christ. You know what I mean? They were, with a dot on his forehead, or whatever they did. Even though that's not historically accurate or culturally accurate either. But I can't speak for them. Growing up here, we know why they kept the rhetoric and they kept the artwork that way, because a lot of time it was just, and then they'll hit you with, well, it doesn't matter anyway. Because the reason it doesn't matter to us, because we know Christ is our Savior. It doesn't matter in that regard, yes. But as far as like representation goes, and our children growing up into that, and then them being more media savvy and more exposed to media than we were growing up, it definitely matters. It matters for their mental state. And then also in the more modern movies where they have white characters depicted like Moses or anything like that, the people that's in the background or the side characters that don't have no lines, they look like the people that are supposed to be from the area. They'll be in the background with no teeth and bald heads and dark skin, from the actual area, but the people that's supposed to be their same ethnicity with them is Russell Crowe. It don't make sense. So, yeah.
Got you.
Yeah. But we know they was using, the biggest actors like that to of course, draw the crowd for the financial gain of it as well. But back to all these different depictions of Christ, it's funny how we have all of these, but when we all get together and see Jesus in heaven, we're going to find out everybody was wrong.
Yeah.
When Jesus reveals himself to us, everybody goes, I thought you was taller. I thought you was darker. I thought you was this. I thought you was that. And he gonna say, nope, look at the nails in my hands. Look at the nail prints in my feet. This is who I am, So
the Savior.
Yep.
Yeah, because when they use the description, I don't know why I liked it, because he said how they were describing how he looked. I was like, he'll end up looking like the candy corn candy. And I was just like, and it's just, there isn't like one, how would I say, there's so many little different notes of how they say that he is. But obviously from where he is, it doesn't mean that he's obviously not white because of where he actually came from. But yeah, I just really like that he said that.
Yeah, that was a good, and there was another phrase he said too, and I was going to try to remember it. Pastor Marion quoted it when he said it as well, and I can't remember what it was now. But yeah, those are pretty. Yeah, I can't remember what it was now. But anyhow, Yeah, when he says that, like the candy corn thing, that would, kind of really hit home there.
Yeah. All right. We are ready to move on to the next question. Ruben, we good?